Have you ever wondered what Usha Vance's mother really thinks of her? To the public, Usha Vance is a highly accomplished woman, yet reserved, known for her sharp legal mind and as the first Indian-American Second Lady of the United States. But some whispers in political circles suggest she may not be as polished as she seems. They say the people who know you best are your family, and when it comes to Usha, no one knows her better than her own mother, who may hold shocking secrets about her. How was Usha raised? What kind of relationship did she have with her mother? And why is there unsettling information that her mother has finally revealed something truly shocking about her? To understand the full story, we need to go back to the beginning. Who is Usha Vance's mother, and what kind of woman raised her? The woman behind Usha. Meet her mother. Usha's mother, Dr. Lakshmi Chilukuri, is an accomplished educator and scientist originally from Andhra, India. Her family moved to Chennai when her father-in-law, Ramas Sastry Chilukuri, became a professor at the Indian Institute of Technology, IIT. The Chilukuri family was known for its deep ties to academia, and Lakshmi followed in their footsteps, excelling in her education and career. In the late 1970s, Lakshmi and her husband, Dr. Radhak Krishna Krish Chilukuri, immigrated to the United States. Together, they built a life rooted in knowledge, discipline, and cultural heritage. The couple raised Usha and her sister in San Diego, California, in a household that blended Hindu traditions with the pursuit of academic excellence. Lakshmi Chilukuri built an impressive career in the field of molecular biology. She is a professor at UC San Diego, where she also serves as provost of 6th College, a leadership position she took on in 2018. She has been recognized as a dedicated and dynamic educator, responsible for designing microbiology teaching curricula, mentoring students, and advancing diversity in science. Her passion for education goes beyond textbooks and research. She played a key role in shaping courses that explore race, ethnicity, and gender in biology and medicine, as well as encouraging students to examine science from a multicultural perspective. She has also worked on equity and diversity initiatives, proving her commitment to inclusive education. Lakshmi's work ethic is well known. Those who have worked with her describe her as determined, highly intelligent, and deeply committed to her students and research. Her leadership at UC San Diego has helped shape the university's academic programs and student success initiatives. As a result, Lakshmi has inspired a new generation of scholars, including Usha Vance, who has followed in her footsteps. Usha Vance grew up in a high-achieving academic family, with a mother in molecular biology and a father in aerospace engineering. The expectation to excel was naturally ingrained in her upbringing. Education was not just important, it was non-negotiable. Usha has spoken publicly about her Hindu upbringing, emphasizing that her parents' faith played a major role in shaping their values. "I did grow up in a religious household. My parents are Hindu, and that is one of the things that made them such good parents. That made them really good people," she once shared in an interview. Lakshmi's structured approach to life likely influenced Usha's disciplined nature. The same focus on intellectual excellence, perseverance, and self-reliance Lakshmi demonstrated in her career was passed down to her daughter. Many who know Usha believe her mother's influence helped shape her into the intelligent and accomplished woman she is today. Lakshmi Chilukuri's dedication to science, education, and family values created an environment where discipline and ambition were paramount. But was this structured upbringing always nurturing, or did it demand unyielding perfection? As we move forward, we'll explore how Lakshmi's high expectations and academic rigor may have shaped Usha's relationships, career choices, and the way she behaves when she's not on camera. From the outside, Usha Vance's upbringing seemed like the perfect foundation for success. Her mother is an accomplished academic, dedicated to education, discipline, and hard work. She had spent years shaping young minds in molecular biology, emphasizing critical thinking, rigor, and perseverance. Naturally, she held her own daughter to the highest of standards. But did this high-achieving environment create an unstoppable woman, or one who became emotionally distant and ruthless? Those close to the family say Usha was raised in an environment of excellence, where failure was not an option. Her mother ensured that Usha and her sister followed a strict academic and personal regimen. Because Lakshmi wasn't just a professor at UC San Diego, she was also a mentor and a leader in educational reform. Yet, behind closed doors, was she as nurturing as she was authoritative? Some sources suggest that Usha's childhood was defined by pressure and expectations. While other children played freely, Usha was expected to focus on her studies, excel in extracurricular activities, and uphold the values her mother cherished. This discipline helped Usha thrive, eventually earning degrees from Yale and establishing herself as a top-tier lawyer. But at what cost? People who have observed the Vance family dynamic whisper that Usha's relationship with her mother was more transactional than affectionate. Some speculate that Lakshmi viewed Usha's success as a reflection of her own, pushing her daughter toward relentless achievement. Others argue that this strict approach shaped Usha into the strong, composed woman she is today. But was there warmth behind this rigid upbringing? There are mixed accounts. Some say that while Lakshmi was a devoted mother, her expectations created an emotional distance between her and Usha. Unlike typical mother-daughter relationships filled with warmth and tenderness, their bond was structured around discipline and performance. It was less about emotional support and more about striving for excellence. Critics of Usha argue that her reserved, almost detached nature in public and political settings is a direct result of this upbringing. She appears calm and collected, never one to show vulnerability. Some insiders claim that this is because she was raised to suppress emotions and prioritize logic, structure, and control. As J.D. Vance's political career has brought Usha further into the public eye, some have begun to scrutinize her demeanor. While supporters admire her intelligence and composure, others see her as cold and calculating, unwilling to show genuine warmth. They question whether the same drive that made her successful also made her distant and unapproachable. Could this upbringing be the reason some have accused Usha of being too controlled and too calculating in her political life? Or has she inherited her mother's perfectionism at the cost of personal warmth? As we delve deeper, we begin to see the makings of a woman whose personal and professional life may be hiding more than it appears. From elite lawyer to political wife, who is Usha Vance? Before she became Usha Vance, she was Usha Chilukuri, a sharp-minded, ambitious woman who had spent her life excelling in academics. She earned her undergraduate degree from Yale University before continuing at Yale Law School, where she built a reputation as a focused and highly disciplined student. Even among Yale's elite, Usha stood out. Her legal career took off quickly. She clerked for Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts, an achievement that only the best of the best can claim. After that, she joined Munger, Tolles & Olson, a prestigious law firm known for its top-tier clients in high-profile cases. By all accounts, she was on track to become a legal powerhouse, far removed from the messy world of politics. Then she met J.D. Vance. At first glance, their relationship seemed like an unlikely match. J.D. was an Ohio native with a troubled upbringing. He was also a former Marine who later attended Yale Law, but had none of the elite background or high-status ambitions that defined Usha's life. He was best known for his book Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir about growing up in a working-class family in Appalachia. The book was widely discussed in political and media circles as it explored themes of poverty, culture, and the struggles of the white working class. Some say Usha played a critical role in shaping J.D.'s career. While he was still a law student, she encouraged him to pursue writing and share his experiences. When Hillbilly Elegy became a bestseller, J.D.'s fame skyrocketed, and political figures began taking notice. But did Usha see something more? When J.D. Vance transitioned from author to venture capitalist, Usha remained a steady presence in his life. By the time he launched his Senate campaign in 2021, she was no longer just a supportive wife, she was a powerful force behind the scenes. Some political insiders whisper that Usha Vance was not just a passive observer in J.D.'s rise, but an active strategist. She had spent years working in the elite legal world, surrounded by people who understood power, influence, and how to navigate political landscapes. So, did she encourage J.D.'s shift toward politics as an opportunity to expand their influence? Some critics believe Usha had a bigger role in molding J.D. into a political figure than many realize. They argue that J.D.'s shift from venture capitalism to running for Senate wasn't just about personal ambition. It was part of a calculated move that Usha pushed for. Her presence is now felt at every step of J.D.'s political career. Unlike many political spouses, she does not seek the spotlight, but she remains an essential figure in his rise. Some wonder, is Usha simply a devoted wife standing by her husband, or is she the real architect of his political career? And if she is the one pulling the strings, how far is she willing to go? The mystery of Usha's transformation. Before getting married, Usha moved in elite liberal legal circles. She had clerked for Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts, a conservative, but many of her peers at Yale Law School and her prestigious law firm were progressive. In fact, public records show that Usha was once a registered Democrat, aligning herself with a party that was, at the time, far from the political ideology of her future husband, J.D. Vance. Yet, in recent years, Usha has undergone a noticeable political transformation. She now fully supports her husband's staunchly conservative platform, standing behind policies that are in direct opposition to the political and social environment in which she built her career. How did this happen? Usha Vance's transformation has sparked interesting discussions. Some observers believe that her change was driven by practical considerations rather than a genuine shift in her values. As her husband, J.D. Vance, shifted his public stance to take a more conservative approach, Usha's views appeared to align more closely with his. Many see her shift as a strategic decision. This perceived change has led some to question whether Usha's transformation was solely driven by her relationship with J.D. Vance. Was it a deliberate choice to adapt to new circumstances, or was there another factor at play? Some observers claim that Usha isn't just following J.D.'s lead, she's actively guiding him. They point to the fact that Usha has always been methodical and disciplined, traits that made her a star in the legal world. Unlike J.D., who had an unpredictable rise to fame, Usha's path has always been carefully planned. It could be that she saw opportunities for growth and understood that adapting to changing circumstances would be beneficial for their long-term success. Insiders say that she was the one who encouraged J.D. to evolve his public stance. Another point of criticism is the stark contrast between her background and the rhetoric she now supports. J.D. Vance built his brand around the idea of being an outsider, a champion for the working class who rejects elitism. Yet, Usha represents the very elite institutions that many of Vance's supporters resent. She was raised in an academic household, graduated from one of the most exclusive law schools in the country, and worked at a firm known for serving corporate and political elites. This contradiction has not gone unnoticed. Some skeptics argue that J.D. and Usha's political brand is built on an illusion and an attempt to present themselves as representatives of the average American while benefiting from the very systems they claim to oppose. Perhaps the most controversial aspect of Usha's transformation is the role she plays in shaping J.D.'s positions. While she avoids public political statements, many believe her influence is undeniable. She could be the quiet force behind her husband's rhetoric, encouraging him to take hard-line stances. If so, does she truly believe in these positions, or is she merely doing what is necessary to maintain power? The mystery of Usha Vance's transformation raises many questions about her true beliefs and motivations. As her mother, Lakshmi Chilukuri, reveals shocking secrets about her daughter, it becomes clear that Usha's transformation is more complex than initially meets the eye. The critics speak. Is Usha as perfect as she seems? To many, Usha Vance is the epitome of grace under pressure, an intelligent, successful lawyer, a devoted wife, and a quiet but steady force behind J.D. Vance's political career. But behind this polished image, critics have begun to ask a more provocative question. Is Usha truly the person she presents herself to be? Unlike many political spouses who actively campaign and court public attention, Usha remains a puzzle. She rarely gives interviews, rarely speaks about her personal life, and keeps her social media presence nearly non-existent. This has led to endless speculation. Is she simply a private person, or is she intentionally concealing a more calculating and ambitious side? One of the biggest criticisms leveled against Usha is that she lacks warmth, not just in public but also in her personal relationships. Insiders suggest that she is fiercely disciplined, which is a trait inherited from her mother, Dr. Lakshmi Chilukuri. Growing up in a high-achieving Indian-American household, Usha was expected to excel both academically, professionally, and socially. But this pressure might just have made her not just emotionally distant but ruthless. Usha Vance's relationship with her Indian heritage adds complexity to understanding her identity. Despite her strong family ties to India, she rarely discusses her Indian background publicly. Unlike other prominent Indian Americans such as Nikki Haley and Kamala Harris, who have openly navigated their ethnic identity, Usha remains largely silent on the matter. Her Hindu upbringing is not a part of her public narrative, and there's little evidence of her engaging with her Indian roots today. This has led some to wonder if this is a deliberate choice. Is she avoiding discussions about her heritage because it may not align with her husband J.D. Vance's public image, or has she simply distanced herself from it as part of her personal growth? More so, Usha's defense of J.D. Vance's controversial remark about childless cat ladies has sparked speculation about her true beliefs. When JD made comments about liberal women without children, some expected Usha, who built her career in liberal circles, to speak out against it. Instead, she stood by him, leading some to believe that she genuinely agrees with his stance. The possibility that Usha Vance is not just following JD's lead but also shaping his views has raised eyebrows. If true, this would mean that Usha, who rarely speaks publicly, may hold more influence than people realize. Her transformation from a Yale-educated lawyer to the wife of a prominent politician has been significant, and her silence on certain matters has only added to the intrigue surrounding her identity. It's one thing for critics to speculate about Usha Vance's true nature. It's another thing entirely when the most damning accusations come from someone who knows her best, her own mother. Whispers have circulated in certain circles that Usha's mother, Dr. Lakshmi Chilukuri, has privately expressed disturbing concerns about her daughter's character. According to these sources, her mother has described Usha in chilling terms: "She is pure evil." These allegations paint a picture of Usha that is vastly different from the disciplined, brilliant lawyer and quiet political wife the public sees. Insiders claim that her mother has described her as someone who has always known how to get what she wants by any means necessary. This, they say, isn't new behavior. It goes back to childhood. Usha was raised in an environment of extreme discipline, but some claim she mastered not just discipline but manipulation. Those who believe the allegations say that her sharp intellect wasn't just used for academic success, it was used to maneuver, to position herself to always come out on top. And when it comes to her marriage to J.D. Vance, some observers believe it was a calculated move rather than a chance love story. Vance was an ambitious but unpolished man with potential. Yet, he was someone who could be guided, shaped, and positioned for greater influence. Usha could have recognized his rise before he did and subtly steered him toward new opportunities, aligning their personal and professional aspirations. Then there is the question of her faith. Usha was raised Hindu, and traditionally her Indian mother would have expected her to marry within their faith, or at least within the broader South Asian community. Her choice to marry someone from a different background has led some to speculate that this marriage was more about power than passion. This could be the source of tension between Usha and her mother, bad enough to make her reveal these shocking secrets. Doubts about Usha's true convictions have been raised due to her limited public response to her husband's rhetoric. J.D. Vance's political platform includes strong anti-immigration views, which directly impact individuals with backgrounds similar to Usha's and her family. Despite this, Usha has remained publicly silent. In contrast, others have spoken out or distanced themselves from similar policies. Usha's silence has led some to question her stance. Some have speculated that she may have helped shape his views. It has also been suggested that she has helped craft his stance to mold him into the perfect figure for her long-term ambitions. But is Usha Vance simply misunderstood, or is she the cold, calculating force that her harshest critics describe? The implications of this reveal, whether Usha's mother truly described her as evil or whether this is just rumor-mongering, have sent shockwaves through public discourse. Regardless of the truth, one undeniable fact remains: Usha Vance is now one of the most powerful women in America. As the wife of the vice president and potentially the future first lady, her influence extends far beyond what the public sees. While she has maintained a carefully measured, quiet presence, her sharp legal mind and strategic thinking raise questions about how much power she wields behind the scenes. If Usha is indeed as ruthless and Machiavellian as her detractors suggest, what does this mean for the future of the country? Could she be subtly shaping key policies and guiding decisions to ensure that her husband's political future aligns with a larger long-term vision of power? More importantly, does this alleged ruthlessness serve as a strength or a danger in their career and choices? These whispers have ignited debates. Some argue that a woman with such discipline, intelligence, and strategy could be an asset to the administration. She could ensure calculated, effective leadership behind the scenes. But others have good reason to fear that such qualities, when combined with unchecked ambition, could lead to dangerous, self-serving decision-making that prioritizes power over principle. There are also personal implications. If these allegations are to be believed, what does this mean for Usha's legacy? If history paints her as a cold, power-hungry figure, will she be remembered as an influential force for good, or as a mean, shadowy figure who operated from behind the throne? Perhaps the most unsettling question remains: what if the whispers are true, but no one realizes it until it's too late? The truth about Usha Vance. So what is the real truth about Usha Vance? Is she simply a brilliant, disciplined woman who values her privacy, unfairly scrutinized by a world eager to find scandal, Or is she truly the cold, ruthless force that some critics paint her to be? Her mother's alleged remarks have cast a long shadow over her public image, leaving many to wonder how much of Usha Vance's persona is real and how much is carefully curated. Throughout her life, she has excelled in elite circles, navigating the high-stakes world of law and power with a steady hand. This leads many to suggest that there has to be a more ruthless side to this harmless-looking lady, one that is willing to do whatever it takes to maintain control. Yet, despite the swirling rumors, Usha herself has remained largely silent. She does not address speculation, nor does she make efforts to soften her image. This only fuels the mystery. Does her silence prove she has nothing to hide, or is it a calculated strategy to maintain an air of control? At the end of the day, only Usha Vance and those closest to her know the full truth. To some, she is the devoted wife and brilliant legal mind standing beside her husband as he rises in power. To others, she is a dark force that is shaping America's future from behind the scenes. One thing, however, is certain. Whether seen as a quiet supporter or a master manipulator, Usha Vance is a name that will not be forgotten anytime soon. What do you think about Usha Vance? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.